Hi, Andrii. This is Keith. We spoke earlier. I was just going to go through one of your recent shoots with you and just kind of give you some feedback and point out a few things where you might want to focus your attention. Okay, so we'll start off here with the interior shots. So right here, I think we have a pretty good shot here. Exposure's pretty good. It gets a little dark as you get over here, but for the most part, it's pretty good. One thing you're going to want to really pay attention to is making sure that your lens is clean. Throughout this shoot, you've got a little piece of dust here that is showing up on pretty much the majority of the images. You can see it's right there. It's there. It gets softer when your aperture is open, but you basically see what I'm talking about. That's usually going to be on the rear element of your lens, and if that doesn't get it, then it might be time for sensor cleaning. So that's something you'll need to kind of keep a lookout for. Alright, moving on into this room. I think this is pretty good. I would try to hide this door better. Basically have it pointing directly at you in this corner, and it won't block the furniture here, and you'll be able to see both sides of the door and minimize the door. Okay. Alright, this one here, we're a little dark on the overall exposure. I know this is going to blow out. That highlight is just going to have to blow out because you're losing a lot of detail in here, and when the editors go to pull this detail back in, it's going to be pretty grainy. So maybe try bumping up the flash compensation or your exposure compensation by a third or so. Another thing to kind of point out, you're catching a reflection. I'm not sure if you're shooting in front of a mirror that's behind you, or if just hitting that wall behind you with your flash, it's creating your shadow here that you can see. So just kind of look out for that, and you could avoid this by maybe pushing yourself further back into the corner and maybe angling your camera a little more to the left. Okay, this looks good. Good. Okay. All right. This is not too uncommon when you're first, getting used to this. You did a good job coming from this bedroom. Your focus is good. Your focus is sharp. And then when you move into the smaller room, I can see that you made the adjustment to your focus, and this is all pretty sharp here. You gotta remember, when you come out of a bathroom, you're gonna have to adjust that focus again, because it looks like you may have forgotten to, and now this shot here, the focus is a little soft. So you'll want to pay attention to that. Other than that, the composition and the exposure both look pretty good on this shot. Moving to the next one, okay, here it looks like you made the adjustment to your focus, which is great. Again, the composition looks good. What I would do different, if I'm really trying to be nitpicky on this composition, is maybe not show so much of this area here. Let me kind of give you a sense of what that does. So if you cut off around here, it puts you into the room and draws your attention actually into the space. So it's like you're in the room here and you're getting a good feel for the kitchen, as opposed to this shot where it looks like you're kind of pushed away from the room, trying to look in. Otherwise, still very usable, very good shot. Okay, this is good. The overall exposure is a little on the dark side, and you've got to watch out for your reflection here. That's your flash right there. Keep an eye out for that. Your vertical on this is just a little bit off. You can see the range there, so pay attention to that. Okay. All right, again, this is pretty good. You got really dark area here. I would sacrifice blowing this out more in order to get more detail in here. So, adjust that exposure compensation up, by a third or 2/3. Kind of the same thing here. Also look out for that, the reflection of that flash that's going to be shooting off behind you. Okay. This is pretty good. Again, I probably bring up the exposure comp a little bit, and you're catching your reflection here on the microwave there, and it looks like you noticed yourself in the reflection, so you went into a bracket. Okay, that's not a bad solution. The issue I'm seeing right here is it looks like you went into your bracket and you were hand holding. It's really difficult to hand hold on an HDR shot on an interior. Usually your shutter speed is going to drop pretty low to let this amount of light in. I don't have your settings in front of me, so I really can't see, but that's just how it looks to me because your medium exposure, the focus is soft, probably due to that slow shutter speed. On your dark exposure, it's a lot sharper, and on your bright exposure, it's soft again. So if you're going to do an HDR bracket inside, really pay attention to the exposures on those brackets, the shutter value on those brackets, to make sure that you're not going too low, and definitely review and make sure that each of the photos in the series are sharp. And if you come away with something like this, you may want to break out the tripod for this. All right, moving through. This composition looks good. That looks good. Good. Okay, so here I feel like we're a little too tall for this room. I like this. This is too tall. I think this shot should be at a height somewhere between here and here. Just a little bit too close to the ceiling, and you're really cheating the rest of the room here. Okay. That looks good. Verticals look good. Alright, here, remember in the bathrooms, we want to try and be lower. We want to try and be in line as far as our height. We want to be around where the doorknob is. So, yep, you did it. So you made the adjustment. Good job. Okay. Alright, this is a pretty challenging shot to get. Very narrow room, and you're shooting right into the washer and dryer. Of course, you have your reflection here, which I'm sure you're aware of. One way to get around this would be to open these doors just a bit, just to push that reflection out to where you're not seeing yourself. Minimize that as much as you can. Okay. Overall exposure is a little on the dark side. Again, just be sure to make the adjustments there with your exposure comp or your flash comp. Otherwise, you got your third wall, which is good. Everything looks good. All right, moving in, the exposure is a lot better here. Of course, shooting directly into a picture frame, and you're showing yourself in that frame. So keep an eye out for that. Good. All right, outside now. It's a good bracket. Looks good. You're getting the detail there in the shadows. Okay. One thing I would try to avoid on this particular shot is showing the splatter. It's a little distracting. And And rather than getting out and actually moving it, what I would probably do is try to recompose, and instead of, I guess, kind of anchoring on this side of your frame, I would try to anchor off of where this rail meets either the stairway or the other, the back rail. By doing that, also, you're going to open up the frame and you're going to show more of the yard in the shot rather than looking at, this area here, which is not really showing you much. Good, good. This is a good shot. This is a good composition. It's a good bracket. It's in focus. Looks good. Alright, same here. Looks good. Good. Alright, and then here, let's see. Bracket looks good. Composition looks good. One thing you really have to look out for and be aware of are homeowners. They will poke their head out at the worst time, and if it's not them, it's usually their cats. One way to kind of minimize the potential for a homeowner to poke their head out in your shot, have them in one area of the house. Ask them to please stay, in the basement while I am shooting, the upstairs or the outside. And they typically don't have a problem with that, but other than that, you just really have to pay attention and make sure that you review your shots after you take them. Well, again, good job. I hope that that this helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call.